Over both Garrett and Jadlow for Bellastini. He has 6. It's 64-43, a 21-point lead for the Russians with 15-13 remaining in this contest from Assembly Hall in Bloomington. And a foul. Teat Sock his first. And Knight is still after Jim Burr. You can't imagine he's going to let up, would you, John?
No.
And he hits him again. He says that's it. I think Knight's going to come down here and talk to somebody. Could very well be Bill Wall.
You got a rule violation.
And it is Bill Wall of the ABA USA. Bill from Colorado Springs, Colorado, and he's the man who is in charge of the international flavor of basketball. He was here for the Pan Am Games. Bill with John McGrath, his assistant. And we'll just wait to see how far Coach Knight goes. He's going back to the bench. Let's see what Burr does now. And Indiana calls timeout. Well, while we try to temper things here with 15:05 remaining, we'll tell you that we're watching Indiana basketball from Assembly Hall in Bloomington, where Indiana trails the Russians 66-43. Well, now the situation begins to develop here. You can see the official, Jim Burr, is going over. Ron Foxcroft is going over to the side. They're going to talk also with Bill Wall. The thing in question right now is Coach Knight has picked up 3 technical fouls. By college rules, the 3rd foul, and he must retire from the arena. And that's what Jim Burr is saying right now. However, in no way is Burr recognizing the fact that he missed a college call. And that's once the ball has been given to the man at the line. When the lane is vacated, the free throw is negated. So Indiana's team is leaving the floor.
Well, I'm not so sure, Chuck, as if the officials have called the game.
It could very well be.
The official who made the call went over to the scorebook and wrote something in the official scorebook. You see the Russian coach talking to Bill Wall. Before the official did that, he walked over to Bill Wall and spoke something to him. And then the official came back to the scorer's bench and made a signal as that's it, signifying the end of the ball game, that this would be the final score, 66-43, and then asked both teams to leave the floor. Now Indiana has left, but I believe the Russian team is still here, and wonderment is what's going on. As best I can tell, that's what happened.
This is astounding. I have never in my life seen this. I can't ever recall that I've ever seen any team leave the floor in an incomplete game.
Well, you see some of the fans starting to leave, but the interesting thing is that the officials have left the floor. Obviously, nothing is going to transpire with the officials off the floor. If they've left, signifying the end of the ball game, then you're right. I think this game is over.
Well, this whole thing has been precluded, at least from our position up here, on a missed college call at the line.
I believe that call stems, Chuck, from when a player's at the line, you can't leave the lane, and then that free throw should not be attempted. The official just let the Russian player come back into the lane, and then play was going to proceed before the technicals came about.
Well, the other down here, of course, is when the Russians had 6 players on the floor, and the officials allowed that and gave Indiana the ball out of bounds under the basket again. That, by college rule, is a technicality, too, because I believe it falls in the classification of illegal substitution, which is a technical foul. This is amazing. Very, very interesting. Well, give us a chance to try to find out where we are. And with that, we will tell you that you're watching Indiana basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. As of this moment, the score reads Russia 66, Indiana 43. There it is, 66-43, and until we hear otherwise, that apparently is the final score of this game with 15 minutes, 5 seconds remaining. Now, we'll call your attention that the official timer and the official scores still remain at the bench. The Russian team is still on the line, still out on the floor. They're shooting from the free throw line. Indiana has retired to the dressing room, and the officials have retired to the dressing room. Jim Burr, Ron Foxcroft, and Lynn Shortnessy.
There you see the Russian team, and I don't think they're going to miss their chance to get as much time as they can at Assembly Hall. As I mentioned on the pregame, Chuck, with the exchange of the hats, this Russian team has heard of Indiana. They know they're the National Collegiate defending champions, and they want to enjoy this game, and that's why they're still here on the floor. As you get a look at Bill Wall, now he's the fellow who's in charge of amateur basketball here in America, has some dealings with the foreign teams as they come. And it looks like the Russian team is going to go, what are they going to do? Let's watch.
Well, they're going out and waving to the American people. And I think the fans that are here are misinterpreting this. They're just waving more or less in gesture of thank you for having us here.
Exactly, exactly. And they are leaving the floor now to get dressed. So as best we can tell, this is going to be a final score, 66-43 in favor of the Russians, with still 15:05 left on the clock.
I've seen some very, very odd things in basketball. I've seen some call. As a matter of fact, you look back over the history of the game itself. John, how many times had you played where you saw an official, Charlie Foudy? I can think of one right now. Charlie, probably one of the premier officials in the Big Ten, who I have seen on not several occasions, but 1 or 2 times, make a call, recognize he had made the wrong call, come over and correct his call. I'm not criticizing this official. I'm just saying that this whole thing, all the problem could have been prevented or precluded by the fact had the official recognized, gee, hey, this is college rules, and maybe I've made a mistake.
Well, the thing that Indiana was trying to get out of the ball game today was to see how far they'd come along in the first 6 weeks of practice, and I think that's the whole purpose of the game, and hopefully Coach has been able to do that in the 20 minutes for the first half, 5 minutes here in the second half, and then, as I mentioned, study that tape tomorrow and see where the team stands. So I think as far as the Indiana basketball program is concerned, that's what they're trying to accomplish in today's ball game. The season opens next Saturday here at Assembly Hall.
We're trying to have someone right now line up Bill Wall with us, the ABA USA Executive Director. He is still down on the floor. We have an opportunity. We're going to take a break and get down to our floor level camera and talk with Bill and anyone else who might be pertinent to that information. And while we're doing that, let's just take this opportunity to pause for a moment. You're watching Indiana basketball on the Farm Bureau Insurance Basketball Network. The score is Russia 66, Indiana 43.